Hello everyone, just a quick video exploring an activity analysis during a netball game. The activity was on a netball centre and they wore a GPS unit for the period of 1 quarter. You can see here on this axis it's speed and along this axis is time. Now what you can clearly see with the netball centre is that most of their activity involves short in duration, high in intensity bouts. It's pretty much stop start, stop start, stop start, or intermittent, as you would describe, and that pretty much happens throughout the entire period of play. You can see here this peak speed is 18 kilometers an hour, and that's the fastest burst of activity they had. However, most of their activity fits into sort of this range here between sort of 8 and 12 kilometers an hour. You can see a little bit of fatigue also in that after the 10-minute mark. You can see that the body was starting to obviously fatigue to some degree, and that would be because of the depletion of PC stores, because pretty much this is an anaerobic activity utilizing the ATP PC system. It doesn't really have high intensity for long enough to warrant moving into the anaerobic glycolysis system. And to sort of replicate that, we've got a few other things that we can look at. A work to rest ratio was 1 to 12. That meant that 1 unit of work was followed by 12 units of rest, or thereabouts. And essentially what that means is we're working within the ATP PC system, because there's a clear amount of rest period to resynthesize those PC molecules. If we get down to about 1 to 1 or 1.2, then we're starting to use the aerobic system. Now, the skills frequency chart that the students actually did was revolved on that center player. You can see that she had 23 chest passes, 17 side steps. She received the ball 9 times. However, generally what you would get from this information is the muscular systems that are primarily in use here. You can see the upper body, obviously through the different passing and so forth. And also the fact that they jumped and did side steps, there's also an element of lower body muscular systems or muscular groups that would need to be trained as well. And the final piece of information that was gathered was movement charts. And what we can see here is that the center player spent 40% of their time standing, 18% of their time walking, so that's 58% in pretty low intensity activity. They spent another 28% of their time jogging, and there was only 12% running and 2% fast run, and 0% basically doing a sprint. So stand, walk, jog, that's considered rest. Run, fast run, and sprint is considered work. Now, in terms of high intensity activity, most of it happened, in short bursts, and comparatively to the entire quarter, it's only a small percentage of time. So that therefore indicates that it's primarily an ATP PC based activity. For further example of that, we can look at the intensity chart. Now, this intensity chart is taken every 5 seconds across the entire 14 minutes via direct observation. You can see that the yellow ones are low intensity, so there's lots of low intensity here, followed by medium intensity. In this instance, medium intensity is considered rest as well. We've got high intensity bursts throughout the entire activity here, and they're obviously moments when the ATP PC system would be fueled. And then we've got a few very highs, but primarily we've got low and medium intensity, which indicates that the body would be suitably able to produce energy aerobically, and these high intensity bursts would be an example of ATP PC system being fueled. So there's an activity analysis. We can go from here and we can actually start to develop a training program that's based on what we get from this information. So activity analysis are usually a really useful thing to give us that detailed information for our training programs.